chapter 87 to 88. Roar! Kale's ki surged as she sensed Goten's power, her aura continuously intensifying while she roared. The vibrant green energy rose instantly, and powerful shockwaves spread around the two fighters like a sharp knife sweeping madly. Seeing this, Vados and Whis quickly waved their staffs, enveloping the 6th and 7th universe audience stands in an energy barrier. The shockwaves from the battle were too terrifying, and even Caulifla and Kaba couldn't withstand them. This sharp, blade-like air could have killed them instantly. Bulma and Chi-Chi, naturally, couldn't endure such a storm either. Ha! Goten roared, and the green aura flames around his body surged instantly. However, he did not transform into Super Saiyan. He knew he could handle Kale, who had lost her mind, without needing to transform into the Super Saiyan state. Rumble. The entire planet trembled, and terrifying cracks spread in all directions. The ground beneath the two combatants continued to collapse. Wow! That's amazing! Trunks was astonished watching the battle. He had experienced Kale's combat power firsthand and knew it was incredibly powerful. But Goten was matching her strength without even becoming a Super Saiyan. It was truly frightening. This kid... how did he become so powerful? Beerus raised his eyebrows in surprise. Without any Saiyan transformation, his basic strength alone has reached this level. If he transforms, wouldn't even I have to struggle to beat him? He knew that Goten was very talented, and his training speed was amazing. But in just over a month, his basic combat power had reached this level under Whis training. If he was allowed to train for another year, would all the Hakaishin even be his opponents? Beerus-sama, you don't have to belittle yourself, Whis smiled. Goten's talent is indeed remarkable, but it's still difficult for him to defeat you. In his mind, the most powerful Hakaishin couldn't be defeated so easily. But one thing was certain, Champa was definitely not Goten's opponent now. Compared to Beerus, Champa had an ugly expression. They all knew Goten was a Saiyan from the 7th universe, and he should possess a transformation. He hadn't transformed yet. If he did, wouldn't he easily defeat Kale? Seems like even this dark horse of theirs wouldn't be able to achieve good results. Kale, come on, crush this guy. Big Sister is proud of you, Caulifla cheered loudly. She didn't expect Kale to be so powerful at such a crucial moment. Despite the current stalemate, she believed Kale could defeat Goten. Even Hit, who had been resting with his eyes closed, opened them and frowned slightly, looking at Goten. He felt an unprecedented oppression from Goten, a feeling he had never experienced before. The guys from the 7th universe are all too scary, right? Kaba murmured. I wonder if Goten can transform like Trunks did. If he can, Kale might be in trouble. There is no suspense in this match. Kale is strong, but she's not Goten's opponent, Hit, who had been silent, said in a low tone. As the strongest among them, he could clearly sense the gap between Kale and Goten. He wondered why Goten hadn't ended the match quickly. He was very curious about Goten's strength. He didn't know if his time-skip skill could affect him. Mr. Hit, are you saying Kale can't defeat Goten? Do you think you can win? Kaba asked respectfully. Hit had lived for a long time and was a legend. When Kaba was young, he had already heard many legends about him. According to his elders, Hit had lived for at least 1,000 years. Regardless of his strength or his age, it was enough for him to refer to him with respect. No, I don't have any confidence if I can beat him, Hit replied seriously. This was the first time he had encountered such a powerful opponent. Even with his time-skip skill, he might not be able to defeat Goten. He sensed a very powerful force hidden within Goten, one that hadn't been fully released. The one they were sensing was just the tip of the iceberg. Even you are unsure? Is that Goten so terrifying? Kaba's face changed. If none of them could beat Goten, the 6th universe's failure was inevitable. At that time, with the temperament of their Hakaishin, it was very likely he would kill them all. While everyone was surprised and whispering, The battle in the arena changed. Goten and Kale unleashed their power, creating shockwaves that pushed them back. After a dozen steps, they both came to a stop. Grrr! Kale, having lost her mind completely, jumped up and punched Goten. Boom! Her fist hit his face heavily, but Goten only stepped back half a step, resisting her full blow. A terrifying energy wave spread from the ground. Kale's expression changed slightly. Her full blow had only made Goten step back half a step. His physical strength seemed even more exaggerated than hers. Is this all the legendary Super Saiyan of the 6th universe can muster? Goten grinned, his eyes changing. His right fist shot out like lightning, hitting Kale's right cheek heavily. Boom! Bang, bang, bang! The power of the punch knocked Kale into the air, bouncing her off the ground multiple times before she rolled to the edge of the ring. Roar! The pain from the punch made Kale even angrier. Her aura surged again, as if it had no limit. A huge, dark green energy ball condensed from her chest, the energy within it terrifying, making the expressions of everyone in the audience stands change. This kind of energy blast was enough to kill them completely. Goten remained unmoved, his expression unchanged. Although Kale's strength was impressive, she couldn't break his defenses. Even if he stood still, letting her attack, she couldn't kill him. With Majin Buu's super regenerative ability and Zamaisu's immortality, except for some special power of laws, no energy could kill him, and Kale obviously didn't have such ability. Just as Kale's energy ball neared him, a black hole appeared in front of Goten, swallowing the energy ball and making it disappear without a trace. Spatial ability? Goten from the 7th universe has mastered space manipulation? How is that possible? Even angels don't possess such skill. Vados was surprised. In her mind, since angels didn't possess such an ability, this implied that it wasn't taught to Goten by Whis at all. A mere mortal mastering such an ability was shocking. It confirmed that Kale had no chance of winning. If this continued, she might die of exhaustion. Because she couldn't control her current power at all, she was only bombarding indiscriminately. Damn it! That brat's so strong it's almost unfair! Shampa's face was extremely ugly. With such a weird ability, even Hakaishin might not be able to counter it. As everyone was surprised, the energy ball reappeared behind Kale, hitting her back before she could react. Boom! The explosion blew her clothes apart and sent her flying toward Goten. Tien, don't simp for those steel juggernauts. That's a max Pookie Bear level muscle, mommy. You got a weird fetish. Get some help, bro. Let's end this, Goten said lightly as Kale tumbled toward him uncontrollably. He hadn't transformed into his legendary Saiyan form to see if he could pick up Kale's LSSJ bloodline. Although he already had a LSSJ bloodline, he hoped the system's ability would allow him to fuse multiple bloodlines. But after fighting for several minutes, the battle didn't drop Kale's LSSJ bloodline. After making up his mind, he looked at Kale, who tumbled over. As Kale neared him, Goten charged his fist with green energy and punched her in the abdomen. Boom! The impact sent Kale flying out of the ring, slamming into the edge of the 6th universe's audience stands. She spat blood, lost consciousness, and began to return to normal. 6th universe Kale fought against 7th universe Goten. 7th universe Goten wins, Vados announced. Ding! Congratulations to the host for picking up the bloodline of LSSJ Kale. And at the moment when Kale lost consciousness, a system notification sound rang in his mind. Goten was taken aback. After fighting for so long, he had assumed he wouldn't get another LSSJ bloodline since he already possessed one. But now he had obtained it. It was a pleasant surprise. If these bloodlines could be fused, his improvement speed would be even more astonishing. Kale, are you okay? Kale! Caulifla and the others ran to the unconscious Kale. Everyone looked at Goten with fear. He had defeated Kale without transforming, showing terrifying strength. He seemed invincible. Shampa's complexion was even uglier. With 4 contestants lost, Hit was their last hope. If he was defeated, the sixth universe would lose completely. Goten's strength was too overwhelming. Even if it was hit, he didn't dare to hold out too much hope for winning now. At this moment, Hit finally stood up, staring solemnly at Goten in the ring. He knew his chances of winning were low, but he had to fight. Facing such a powerful opponent would be a great experience. He hadn't felt this feeling for nearly 1,000 years. "Oi, Hit, you're our last contestant and only hope. You must beat Goten!" Champa suppressed his anger and ordered Hit. The thought of losing and being ridiculed by Beerus made him furious. "I can't guarantee that. Goten is really strong, and he didn't show his full strength just now. Defeating him won't be easy. I can only promise to give it my all," Hit said calmly. He lightly tapped the ground and landed in the ring, his hands in his pockets, his expression flat. The sixth universe contestant Hit challenges the seventh universe contestant Goten. "If you're ready, let's start," Vados announced. Everyone's eyes focused on the ring. This was the last and most crucial battle. If Hit lost, the sixth universe would be completely defeated. If he won, the seventh universe's hope would be shattered. "Come on, Goten. Don't be careless. Goten win this," the seventh universe's audience cheered. In the arena, Hit and Goten's eyes met. Goten smiled. "I've known about you for a long time, Hit, the strongest assassin in the sixth universe." Hit didn't respond with a greeting. Instead, he said seriously, "Goten, I admit that you're the strongest opponent I've ever encountered, so I will resolve this battle quickly." Although his opponent was very strong, Hit's time skip skills were not to be taken lightly. "Ah, then come." Goten nodded. Hit's basic strength wasn't very high, but his time skip skill made him formidable. In a fight, sometimes even 0.0001 seconds can determine the outcome. Hit's time skip allowed him to jump 0.1 seconds ahead, which was often enough to defeat stronger opponents. However, if an opponent's strength or speed vastly surpassed his time skip would be ineffective. Understanding the principle behind it, defeating Hit became simpler, as Goku demonstrated in Dragon Ball Super by surpassing Hit's 0.1 second time skip with Super Saiyan Blue combined with Kaioken. His power surpassed Hit so much that the time skip skill lost its effect on him. Hit took his hands out of his windbreaker pockets. This was serious. He had never needed to fight seriously in the sixth universe. But against Goten, he had to give his all. Whoosh! Hit's body vanished, completely disappearing from sight. Even his ki was undetectable. "What? So fast? He disappeared right in front of me." Beerus was taken aback. No matter how fast Hit was, it shouldn't have been possible for Beerus not to see him. Yet it was completely impossible to capture his movements and Kai as if Hit had seemingly evaporated from existence. Only Whis looked calm. Whis remained calm. As an angel, he understood that it was Hit's ability to control time, jumping 0.1 seconds during attacks, Hit's signature time skip skill. Few mortals could master time control, making Hit an exception. It was through this ability that he also established himself as the top assassin in the sixth universe. And just when everyone was feeling extremely surprised, Hit reappeared behind Goten and aimed a punch at the back of his neck, a vulnerable spot that would knock anyone unconscious. As a seasoned assassin, Hit knew the body's weaknesses well. The reason why he chose to attack from behind was mainly because if he wanted to launch a frontal attack, the chance of success would be very small. A sneak attack from behind was more likely to succeed. However, he underestimated Goten's speed and reflexes. The instant he punched, Goten sensed his position and tilted his head slightly, making Hit's fist miss. Hit used his time skip again, this time attacking Goten's throat from the front. But Goten blocked the attack with his right arm. Whoosh! Whoosh! Realizing the gap in their abilities, Hit pushed his time skip to the extreme, creating countless afterimages around Goten, attacking like a hail of bullets. Yet Goten dodged every strike effortlessly. Damn! Damn! This guy's speed is too fast. Even with my time skip, I can't touch him. After several uses of his signature skill and not touching Goten's body at all, Hit was completely desperate at this moment. The gap between their abilities was enormous. Vados, observing from the sidelines, commented, "It seems that the outcome of this match is clear. Although Hit is skilled, the gap between him and Goten is too vast." If he could ignore even the time skip skill, then Hit had nothing special in front of Goten. Champa seemed to accept his loss, his face gradually returning to calm. After hundreds of attacks, Hit stepped back, his resolve unwavering. If 0.1 second time skip was insufficient, he had to surpass it. He had always relied on his 0.1 second time skip to defeat opponents, never considering improving his because it never failed him before. But against Goten, he had to break his limits. Ha! Hit roared, a purple aura bursting around him. What? Could it be that Hit can also transform? Krillin and Trunks were surprised, seeing Hit's posture and the ki aura around him. The purple aura became more intense, making them suspect he might transform and become even stronger. No, he can't transform like a Saiyan, Whis clarified. His aura hasn't changed, even though it looks like he's transforming. Indeed, his aura is the same as before, without any improvement. But if he can't transform, what's the point of doing it now? After feeling that Hit's ki hadn't changed, Krillin and the others became more and more confused. Was Hit trying to bluff Goten in this way? This was completely stupid. They could all feel that Hit's ki had not changed in any way. And just while everyone was speculating, the purple flames around Hit's body began to dissipate little by little. After his aura calmed down, Hit was exactly the same as before. Goten could see the confidence in Hit's eyes. It seems he's upgraded his time skip skill, but even if it's increased to 1 second, this battle's outcome is already decided. Goten, I'll give it my best now, Hit said, having extended his time skip from 0.1 to 0.5 seconds, a significant breakthrough. Meeting a powerful opponent like Goten had pushed him to this new level. Then come on, Goten replied calmly, which annoyed Hit. It felt as though Goten wasn't taking him seriously. Hit snorted coldly and disappeared again. This time, his time jump was more precise, his ki undetectable. Even at the moment of attack, Hit's ki could not be sensed. Bang! 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 Hit's speed increased, hitting Goten a dozen times in less than a second. Although the attacks had no effect, Hit managed to land hits on Goten, proving his upgraded skill. So powerful! As expected of Mr. Hit, I can't see his movements clearly, and I can't feel his aura, but now he can hit Goten's body, Kaba exclaimed excitedly. Maybe we have a chance to win. Vados and Champa, however, remained silent, knowing the gap between Hit and Goten. Despite the improved speed, Hit's attacks were ineffective. That kind of attack, it felt like scratching an itch. Bang! 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 After several more attacks, Hit reappeared, sweat on his face, panting heavily. His ki had become a little disordered. The 0.5 second time skip consumed a lot of energy. Seeing Goten unscathed made his expression grim. With so many precise strikes just now, this guy did not even move his feet. This guy's body is too strong. It's ridiculous. Hit frowned tightly, secretly thinking in his heart. It seems that I have to gather all the strength and finally launch the fatal hit. If that doesn't cause him any harm, then there is no need to continue this match. He planned a final powerful attack, hoping it would be effective. Hit gathered all his strength in his right fist, targeting Goten's chest. This was his final move. Whoosh! Hit disappeared again. Sensing something wrong, Goten's eyes narrowed. When he reopened them, a silver light flashed. A silver aura rose around him. The temperature of the entire arena started increasing. The moment they saw the change in Goten, Vados and Champa were horrified. That is Ultra Instinct? They exclaimed simultaneously, their tones filled with shock. Hit's attack followed, but as his fist neared Goten's chest, Goten's body moved on its own, dodging perfectly. Goten grabbed Hit's arm. "It's over now, Hit," he said, his voice flat. He gently struck Hit's neck with his other hand, knocking him unconscious instantly. In a moment, the pupils completely disappeared, and the whole person lost consciousness directly. Then he fell limply to the ground. "Mr. Hit! Hit!" The Sixth Universe fighters were in disbelief. They had seen Hit land hundreds of attacks on Goten, but it had no effect. Now, Goten had seen through Hit's moves and defeated him with ease. Meanwhile, the focus of Vados and Champa was no longer the outcome of this battle. Because when the attacks just now did not cause any damage to Goten, they had already foreseen the outcome of this battle. But what shocked them was that Goten seemed to have used the Ultra Instinct just now. "Vados, did that guy use Ultra Instinct?" Champa asked, frowning. To him, that Ultra Instinct was an angel's signature divine skill. Even among their 12 Hakaishin, only Beerus had grasped some of it. Unexpectedly, that bastard mortal from the 7th universe also mastered the Ultra Instinct, and it looked like he was more proficient in it than Beerus. This was simply outrageous. It felt like slapping the faces of all Hakaishin, especially him. His face was even hotter at this moment. "Yes, Champa-sama, it's not perfect, but it's Ultra Instinct. It's incredible that a mortal mastered it," Vados confirmed, still surprised. In fact, every Hakaishin before had been exposed to the training for Ultra Instinct. It was just that their temperament was not very suitable for Ultra Instinct. Therefore, among the 12 Hakaishin, only Beerus had reached the entry level. Unexpectedly, there was now another person from 7th Universe who mastered Ultra Instinct, and it was surprisingly a mortal. "Damn! That skinny must have known about this before. This was a complete scam!" Champa glared at Beerus. "How about it, Champa? Are you surprised and angry? Where's your confidence now?" Beerus mocked, taking the opportunity to tease the fatty. Now that he had such a good opportunity to mock Champa, he would naturally not let it go. Champa's face was livid, his body trembling with anger. He couldn't refute Beerus's words. It would be just asking for trouble if he responded to his taunt now. Whoosh! At this time, Goten also withdrew from the stage and returned to the audience stands of the 7th Universe in a flash. It was a pity he didn't acquire Hit's time-skip skill. With Vados's final announcement, the competition between the 6th and 7th universes came to an end. TN. Here you go, guys. Killed the cliffhanger. The next chapters I will release once I have drafted 4 of them. Dunno what time, though. It's not fixed.